What's going on, people? This is your boy Market Omega back at it again with another weekly recap. I'll be going over trades from this week, so without further ado, let's go. All right, so once again, to start off the week, we're going to be taking a look at the SPY right here. So, um, obviously, this whole election thing is kind of looming above everybody, right? So, there's a lot of uncertainty, and I actually thought that well, I still think the uncertainty of the elections is baked in, but I didn't expect us to pull back this much. Really, I actually thought we are gonna stop like right here and then maybe consolidate and then continue onwards. But we've actually pulled back really far from my intended pullback target. But you know that notwithstanding, I'm still long my spy calls. I'm actually down on it, but I still think that I have till end of November. I have about a whole month, to make it back. So that's not really a problem right there. So we've pulled back considerably. So I'm actually hoping that we do get a bounce, and going into next week once the elections happen. My opinion, it doesn't really matter who's the president, whether Biden or Trump. I still think we're going to continue higher. So, the election is probably going to be more of like, buy the rumor, sell the news. But in this case, obviously, this is sell the rumor. And when the election results are announced, that'll be, you know, by you know by the fact. So I still think that we're going to move higher. Just to go over some of the trades that I took this week. So this week has been, I mean, it's okay. It's been a lot better than last week. So to start off, let's take a look. DSS was the first. Let's go back here. Just 1 second. So DSS, I actually took this. Let me go in here. So what's that? So DSS was right around here, right? So DSS was the 22nd. I'm sorry, the 26th. So that's when I took this trade, and I actually took it on a flag break. Okay. So let me show you. Actually, the first time I took it, the first trade was where was that? The first trade I actually took was sort of like an ABCD setup. So you could see right here. I took a trade right here, and this is a double bottom that was forming right here. So I actually took it in anticipation of this break, right? In anticipation of this break right here. So I got long and it broke over this level, and I held it for a little bit. It consolidated, and then I scaled out on that move. Okay, so that was that one trade right there that I took on that. But let's see, there was another trade. Let me see if I can find that. It was a flag break. It was a flag trade. Where was that? Where was that? Oh gosh, there was a flag break right there, somewhere around there. I actually took that, and then let's see, where was the other one? Anyway, but there was a flag break in here somewhere. I can't remember where the pattern is exactly, but I actually took that, and there was a double bottom towards the close where I got in on the trade. It was right here. So if you take a look right here on this break right here, this is a double bottom with a higher low holding above the moving averages, and I got long right here, and basically caught that move and scaled out. So this was good. Now normally I normally take trades within like the first hour and a half of market open, and then I come back around the last hour and a half of close. And I kind of wait for like a nice, decent pattern to form. So when I get that pattern that forms around that time, you know, I usually take that trade, and I take the trade, and then, just maybe add it to the trades that I already took early on. So it's more like it's more like a wallet pattern type of trade. So I got a trade right here. I took a flag. It was somewhere around here. It was a flag formation, and then I came back, and then I took this. So this was pretty good. So you will, with these stocks, with the patterns, you want to make sure that the stock is like a trending stock and it has a lot of volume. So if the stock has like really decent volume, you can actually get some good money off of it because you're going to see multiple patterns on it, right? So this is one of the very clear pattern that I took, and then I took another one right here. This is like right there on this break. So let me draw this. So this is another one. So if you kind of like, step back a little bit, you should be able to see some of these patterns form on these stocks, especially if they have a lot of volume, a lot of momentum. Maybe they're gapping up on some type of news or something like that. You know that a lot of traders are going to have their eyes on this stock, and that could actually propel the stock a lot further. So that was that for DSS. I took that right there, and let's see, took SRRK. So SRRK was another stock that we had on one of our gappers. Uh, so SRRK, where was that? It was on a 28. So that was right here. So let me show you guys. It was a double bottom trade that I took, and this was actually clear as day. So where was that? It was just closer to the open somewhere. It was right here. All right. So just like DSS, this was a double bottom trade. Market open. We got the pop. Short sellers usually gonna slam this thing back, so they slammed it back, and we got the consolidation. So right there, I got this trade right here. Double bottom with a higher low, holding above moving averages, and you want to see the volume hold steady. And basically, I got long right around here. So I got long around this area, and brought my average down, and then I scaled out. So that was the one clean trade. Now this stock itself, I mean, it's a high institution ownership stock, right? It's a high IO stock. So what means is a lot of institutions are holding the stock. So anything that has a lot of institutions in it, it's going to trade very it's going to have a lot of weights. You're going to be trying to dump shares, stopping people out. And that's one thing you need to be aware of. If a stock has a very high IO, just know that it's not going to move as cleanly as a stock that has mostly retail. Okay, so SRRK had a lot of it was a high IO stock. Now the volume was there, but there were a lot of fake outs on that trade. So you just got to be careful with that as well. You got to be careful when you're trading these type of stocks. You just got to know that a lot of times you know there's gonna be a lot of games pretty much. So you just got to be careful on that. So there was I traded this. I got a nice move on that, and there was another formation. I think it was like an inverse head and shoulders somewhere. Let me see if I can find that. It was somewhere around here, and I actually spotted it and called it in chat, but I didn't take that. I think it's right here. So you could see that. So it's sort of like this, right? It's like a diagonal inverse head and shoulder formation. So look at that right here. That's the left shoulder, the head, the right shoulder, target distance between the neck and the head. So you take that, add it to this break, and that's your target. And pretty much with this, I didn't take this trade. I didn't take it. I saw it, but I didn't take it because I had other stuff. I was actually watching another stock, and I think I was actually in a trade around this time, so I didn't take this. But I would have taken this. I would have taken this. This has been a nice, decent pattern right there. So, so that was a nice inverse head and shoulders on that. Now we also had the stock. Actually, this stock has been a mover the last few days. So I think this one moved here as well. But one thing with like one of my trading principles is I don't really like trading stocks on like the third day. Okay, so we got this move right here, right? We got this pop, which is great. The second day we get another pop or another move, which is great. On the third day, I don't really like that because it just trades very choppy or range bound. A lot of people that made money on the first and second day, they're gonna try to dump on the third day. Maybe take some profit, or short sellers are gonna try to come in there, and especially if the stock is like overextended. If I mean this went from 13s all the way to the 40s. I mean, that's a pretty big move. So, usually it's gonna be on the third day. It's you're gonna get either a chop or it's just gonna go to the downside. And a lot of pops are gonna be sold into. People are gonna short it or they're just gonna sell. Um, from the profits from the previous day. So I don't really like doing that on the third day. So I trade the first day, second day, and the third day I just look for something else. Okay, so that's that. We also had today we had EQ, BLRX, we had MGI, and then the midday we had MARPS, right? So that was another midday stock. So EQ. So EQ, I was watching this. Pretty much it had, it met my criteria. It had volume. Also it was a low flows runner, right? So I think this had run sometime in the summer. So anytime I see a stock that has a history of running, I basically just kind of add it to my watch list, right? So this stock was running, and right, before market open, I was watching this. This was forming a descending wedge right there, right? So it had pulled back all the way from 850 all the way to like the 690s and stuff. So that's a pretty big pullback. So at the open, I'm waiting for a pop, right? So and also it was forming this thing right here. This, if you look at this pattern, this is a descending wedge. So most descending wedges, when they break out, they pop. So I was watching this, and pretty much, I got in around here on the pop, and I think I got in around the low sevens, and I think it was like 708 or something. And I was hoping my target was like around the 730s, around this VWAP area, right? So that was my target. So it popped up. We got the pop to like 730, but it never broke because I was looking for like the seven high 730s or like 740s. But we got this pop right there, and it just kept consolidating, and there was a huge iceberg order around that 730. It'll hit 730 and then flush, and it'll come back again and hit it and flush, and you know the size on the ask was, I mean, it said one. So I mean, obviously that's not 100 shares. That's probably 100,000 shares. I don't know. It was a lot. So it just kept hitting this area, and then so I got stopped out. And then my goal was like, well, this thing, if it holds this channel right here, if it holds it, then I'll look for another long entry. So basically, it started holding this area, right? This bottom part of this wedge. So it just kept holding it. So, I got back in when it looked like it was actually forming another double bottom, right? So if you take a look right here, you see this right there. It's double bottom, high or low. So I got in somewhere around here, and then I got the move on the pop right there. So I scaled out on the move. So that was a pretty decent entry. I think I got in like 7 or something, and I scaled out. So that was a nice almost 50-cent pop from the entry. So that was pretty good on that on EQ. The other trade I took was MGI. So MGI was basically, I was watching it. It was forming an ABCD setup. So I actually drew this. I'll show you guys right there. If you take a look, you see that. So it's more of a ABCD setup, and I like when stocks have these type of patterns. They pop, they consolidate, they form a nice pattern, and that's what you want to look at. Wait to find these patterns. You don't have to rush in on the pop. Just wait for the stock to kind of chill a little bit, and then eventually you're gonna catch one or two patterns on the trade. So I saw this nice ABCD setup right there. So got long around here. 560s was the entry point. Um, when I got in right here, I think it was like around this entry point, 560s, and then boom, got the breakout, and I sold on this move up right here. So got in right here, and then I sold on that move, and that's the thing. Now MGI, I didn't even have that on my watch because I was like, well, this stock has a lot of it's got a lot of a high float. It's a high float stock. It's MoneyGram, and a lot of these high float stocks don't move as well as the low floats, right? Plus, most high float stocks have high institutional ownership. But I didn't have MGI on my watch list. So somebody actually called it out. Right when market opened, somewhere around here, they called it out. So I added it to my watch list, and I was just waiting for the setup to come to me, and that's what happened. So I got this right nice ABCD setup right there, got long right there on this area, and then I scaled out. So that was a pretty nice move. Um, the other trade was MARPS. This was it was a midday runner. I don't even know what the move was. It doesn't even have it on there. I mean, I think this was just more so. This was more so a technical breakout, I think, because there's really no news on that. So, had a lot of room to run. So my strategy was basically to buy it on pullback. So, if I get a nice decent pullback, I was gonna get long on it. Okay. So, I got this pullback somewhere around here, and then I think it was like right here. I think the first trade I took was a stop out. I got stopped out right there. So I was like, okay, well, I'm just gonna wait for this thing to consolidate a little bit. So it consolidated. I got back in right there, and I sold on the move up on the spike. I think I got in the was it the 530s? I think it was like 530 somewhere around there, and then boom, we got the move up to 580. And I was actually thinking this was gonna go to six. Like that was like okay. I was when it popped, I sold some of my shares, but I'm like okay, this looks like it could go to six. It broke the high of day, and then the next it had a lot of room on the daily, so I thought that maybe this could like at least break six, and then we can take it from there. But um, popped to 585, and then we got this big flush right there. It was a huge flush. So basically stopped out the remainder of my shares. So I got in, made my money, and then I stopped out. So that was that for MARPS. It actually had a lot of volume. So I don't normally trade these midday runners and stuff, but I only take them if it's got like huge volume, right? And it's in a nice trend, right? The trend is like forming. It's like a nice trend, and I'll take the trade. I'm not gonna take it if it just pops up and then drops and pop. I mean, I'm not gonna do that. And then we also had news on. There was news that they're removing the cruise line bans, right? They're basically unrestricting these cruise lines. So we got Carnival Cruise popping. I mean, I didn't take this trade, but this would have been a nice little um, trade. If I saw this, I would have taken this. I actually was not by my desk at that point, but so that's that, you guys. That's basically the recap for this week. This today is the today's end of October, so hopefully, historically, we start to see some momentum around November, December, and that's we long bias traders, we hope for that. We love momentum trades with a lot of volume. Even if you're short bias, I mean, you want some kind of you want stocks that are going to move in either direction with a lot of volume, and that's what you're looking for if you're long or short bias. And historically speaking, we get more momentum towards the end of the year. November, December, that's when the small cap market starts to pick back up again. So, let's just see what next week has in store for us. Hopefully, we get some nice, clean, decent trades in the market. And so that's that. You guys have a wonderful weekend. And make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel. And, Market Omega, feel free to subscribe and turn on post notifications so you get notified every time I upload new content. And also, feel free to follow me on Twitter at Market Omega. I post, ideas on stocks, cryptocurrencies, sports, and just life in general. And also subscribe to madassmoney.com. The link is in the description below. So when you subscribe and you're in chat, just look for Market Omega. I post my ideas in there as well. And you guys have a wonderful weekend, okay? And I'll talk to you next week with another weekly recap. Take care.